I count up so much money lately. I count up so much that they hate me. Yeah, I make niggas mad cause they ain't me. Yeah, I've been in my bag going crazy. I count up so much money lately. I count up so much that they hate me. Yeah, I make niggas mad cause they ain't me. Yeah, I've been in my bag going crazy. Bitch, I'm not. First don't fuck your bitch in the click you claim. West side when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas fuck for life. Plus, Puffy tryna see me weak, hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia some more. I think a little higher. I think a little higher.
Yeah, back in another video. It's your boy P Digital 21. I just want to say welcome back to my channel. And also, how you guys doing? I just want to say, if you're feeling happy or sad, then my team should be your joy. And also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We post your shit to all media platforms, and also don't forget to hit the post notification button for future videos. Alright. So, and also get the P Digital Gang merchandise at teespring.com/PDigitalMilDazGang. And I have a promo code 2, welcome 25 in all caps, and then the number 25. You ever get 2 items for that code to exit. So we have 5 reactions of innocent convicts set free. So let's check it out.
It started in 2004 when the Honduran immigrant was accused of killing 2 women. A man who was sentenced to die literally was on death row.
So it's the case of this guy named Clemente Aguirre. And if I tell you this story, you'll say, you got to be making the up. It can't be true.
14 years, 4 months, and 19 days I've been incarcerated. 10 years, 3 months of them in death row.
On June 25, 2004, in Altamonte, Florida, 24-year-old Clemente was indicted on charges of first-degree murder and burglary, a crime that he did not commit.
From the start, Aguirre Harkin said he found the women dead, that he tried to help, and that's how their blood got on his clothes and his footprints.
It was a
Look, this is why, son, if you see like a dead body, or if you see like somebody like about to bleed out and whatnot, it's not. I'm not saying not to help them, but it's like they're gonna blame it on you if they see that like you're the only one that was with them at the time, that they were like on their deathbed, like, or the death sidewalk, or something like that.
Gruesome crime that found his neighbors, 68-year-old Carol Barris and 47-year-old Cheryl Williams, stabbed to death.
I didn't do it. I don't kill anybody.
However, despite Clemente protesting his innocence, police decided he was the only possible suspect and he was sentenced to death.
Of course, because the nigga is Mexican. It's all about race, like that, and like it's the same thing like with black people. Like any race, and like if they saw you like with the dead bodies, and then like you was trying to help them, and then their blood is on your like clothes, like they're gonna blame you. Like this is why I'm not saying to walk away, but call the cops from a distance, like seriously, and like, and then that's how you remove yourself from the situation.
In the 14 years on death row, Clemente never stopped trying to clear his name. And he wasn't wrong either. As it turns out, Samantha, Cheryl's daughter, prior to the murder, was diagnosed with intermittent explosive disorder.
Within inches of the mother's body and in a bathroom where the state argued the killer cleaned up is the daughter's blood, a trail of the daughter's blood going to the bathroom, and then the mother's blood on the outside of the daughter's window. And there's in the doctor's notes, a few years before this happened, where she says to her mother, "I'm gonna kill you if I ever get out of here. I'll kill all of you."
Yeah, it was the daughter. Like this, because like her daughter, I mean her blood, the daughter's blood is in the same spot, and so she the daughter exposed herself when she went to the bathroom and left a trail of blood like leading from the room to the bathroom. And then when she like I guess multiply like stabbed like her mother, the mother tried to like climb out the window so that she could like remove herself like she tried to attempt to remove herself from the house so that like she won't get like stabbed anymore. And then that's how Clemente like saw like her on the ground.
Then we find out that she has confessed all over town. We had people coming in all over the place, testifying, affidavits that she said, "I killed my mother and my grandmother, I'll do it to you."
With such irrefutable evidence implicating Cheryl's daughter, the day finally arrived for Clemente.
I do know that nobody believed me back then. No one. Besides,
Look, I would just say that it was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like he found himself in the wrong situation where like he was trying to be a civilian or a savior, and God wasn't on his side.
my mother, nobody believed me. And I thank you for it. From the bottom of my heart.
He holds back tears and immediately heads towards friends and family to celebrate.
But today is a brighter day, a new day, and I got good hopes for the future.
This is Devontae Sanford, who in 2007 was sentenced to 37 to 90 years in prison, a horrific quadruple murder that he did not commit. He was only 14 years old at the time. Devontae was walking outside his home in his pajamas when he was arrested just 3 blocks away from a vicious crime scene involving 4 people and an AK-47 assault rifle. Devontae was taken to the local police station, where it turns out that the police coerced him into a false confession with the use of leading questions and feeding him facts from the case.
So they set him up. See, this is why I don't trust cops. Like seriously, I really am scared of the police. Okay, like whenever like I go out and like my boys are driving the car like and like we sometimes like um no it's just the imagination of me like ever getting stopped by the cops. Like it's like they have the upper power. Like this is why when no, this is why like I'm not afraid to say that I am scared of the cops. Like seriously, like I've seen too much news reports of them killing like my type of race. Like I don't need this.
To make matters worse, his lawyer at the time didn't help by convincing him to enter a guilty plea. His current lawyer had this to say.
In the course of their targeting him, they literally fabricated evidence and committed perjury in order to ensure that this young man, that they could get a conviction.
Did they beat him in the prison? Because why his eye like that? Like seriously, I wasn't gonna say anything because like I don't really like he could have like a birth defect, but it's just why his eye like that.
But just 3 weeks later, there was another twist in this tale. And that twist came in the form of hitman Vincent Smothers. Smothers was arrested for 12 murders, 4 of which turned out to be the case that Sanford was convicted for. The lack of action from the justice courts got the attention of the Northwestern Center of Wrongfully Convicted Youths, who pushed to reopen the case, which led to Devontae's freedom in 2016.
It was a homecoming 9 years in the making.
Interestingly enough, Devontae is thankful to one particular person for his freedom: Smothers.
He protected me, not the cops. The cops took advantage of me. It's because of this man. You know, I'm able to walk and breathe and just, you know, be at peace.
As it turns out, all that time spent.
Wait, so is he siding with the person that actually did the murder? Because look, don't get me wrong, son. Like, I'm for like you're against the cops and all that, but how are you going to side with the actual suspect? Like, like it. No, I wouldn't do that. So I would not side because like he actually did the murder. He actually did a bad thing. Like, even though he turned himself in, like he still puts you in that situation where he could have done it earlier.
Incarcerated may have taken its toll on Sanford, who found it hard acclimatizing back into regular society.
New and serious trouble for Devontae Sanford. The 25-year-old was convicted of murder here in Detroit. Then
Yeah, he had to get beat like in prison because you see that his face.
New and serious trouble for Devontae.
You see that both his eyes are open, and then like in recent his one eye is shut. Like he had to get like into a fight like in there.
Sanford, the 25-year-old, was convicted of murder here in Detroit, then exonerated and released from prison.
He was arrested for assault in 2018, and this time there was no hitman to take the heat. In 1991, Queens, New York, 19-year-old Gregory Counts and 21-year-old Van Dyke Perry were sentenced to life in prison for a crime they did not commit. The victim was held at knife point out front of her Queens home, thrown into a car, and driven to Central Park, where she was then raped multiple times. She claimed,
you could continue, but I'm just saying like she got something without knowing, but yeah. Throw that R word around.
that the men responsible were Counts, Perry, and a third unknown man. In 2017, after having already served 11 years, the Innocence Project reinvestigated the Counts and Perry case using DNA that was retested. DNA cleared both Counts and Perry from the semen found on the victim. It led to a man who was deceased. Weird, right? So why would the victim make up such a heinous story and send 2 innocent men to jail? The answer will get your blood boiling.
The complainant now admits that her boyfriend forced her to lie and falsely claim these men sexually assaulted her. Her boyfriend was trying to avoid having to pay a debt to these 2 men.
All that for a boyfriend avoiding debt, the things we do for money. Let's have a look as both Counts and Perry sit in court, hearing the sweet sound of freedom echoing throughout. They do their best to hold back their emotions. Although they are free and reintegrating back into society now, it's clear that this horrible, unjust story will haunt both these men for the rest of their lives.
It's never going to be over. The reason why, because it tormented my life and it's my past.
1993, New Jersey. 22-year-old Tito Marino was murdered in his video store, another gruesome death by stabbing. Eric Kelly and Ralph Lee were both convicted of a crime they had no connection to.
So this is what I said before. Like it's always like black people, but like it could be any race that's gonna take the fall because it's like it's them against like the whole world.
The whole story was put together by
like a whole world of like racist people.
Police using coercion and a sketchy eyewitness. They then used those statements against Lee, and that's how they nailed their conviction. It wasn't until once again the Innocence Project got involved in their case that Eric and Ralph felt a bit of hope.
And the state has just dug in their heels ever since. They refused to investigate this other person, refused to talk to him, didn't look into his history, and instead are just, blindly clinging to this conviction at all costs.
Lee was released after 11 years. However, it wasn't until 2018, after having spent 24 years in prison, that Kelly was finally given back his freedom after new DNA evidence was presented to the judge in court.
Therefore, in light of the foregoing reasons, the motion for this trial as both defendants is now free of Kelly.
Interestingly enough, we find Judge Joseph Portelli in full Karen mode.
Listen to me. It's not a moment of choice. It's a moment of justice. Okay? It's not something to celebrate or it's not celebrated.
We're not sure about you, but freedom after 24 years of wrongful incarceration seems like a pretty good reason to celebrate.
Nah, that does. I don't know how you did 24 years. Like, you must have, like, really, really joined, like, a good gang that protects you, like, all those years. And, like, you was holding it down because 24 years is a lot, like, in prison.
Kelly and Lee didn't let this dampen their moods. Both were hungry, high in spirits, and thankful for everyone that had played a part in their release.
Mainly, I want to eat. I'm a little hungry. Be with my legal team. I want to thank them. I want to thank my family. First and foremost, it's been a long time. I just don't know. I'm just out of words right now. I'm just feeling good right now. That's all.
What would you want someone who didn't know anything about your case to know?
I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent man.
All's well that ends well. For now.
Right, in the case of People versus Juan Ignacio Catalan, is that your true name?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Juan Catalan, the man saved by sitcom. An alibi caught on camera, but not in the way you think. On May 13th, 2003, 16-year-old Martha Puebla, a witness in a case of a gang slaying, was shot and killed in front of her home in Sun Valley, California. It wasn't until 3 months later that the FBI arrested 24-year-old Juan Catalan during a raid in front of his family's machine shop. Juan was interrogated for hours. It seemed like they already had a huge amount of evidence against him. A witness sketch that looks like you. A witness that was supposed to have evidence against him. A witness.
The sketch and Juan himself.
Hours. It seemed like they already had a huge amount of evidence against him.
Yeah, like Juan has all those features like from the sketch. But then again, like people have similar faces. So like, if he said he didn't do it, he didn't do it. Right?
For hours. It seemed like they already had a huge amount of evidence against him. A witness sketch that looks like you. A witness that was supposed to take the stand against your brother gets murdered in cold blood.
Oh, he has a brother.
It doesn't look good.
So if he has a brother, that's something else. Like seriously. And the brother has like the same mustache too.
The stand against your brother gets murdered in cold blood. It doesn't look good.
Nah, bro.
But Juan consistently pleads his innocence, telling officers that they're trying to pin this crime on the wrong person.
You guys are gonna take away my life for this You killed somebody. Wait a minute. A very strong word right there. I did not kill nobody. I would never kill nobody. I would never do anything to hurt anybody. Convince us otherwise.
As things get sticky, Juan remembered that he was at a Dodgers game with his daughter on that day. But a stadium full of tens of thousands of people, what are the chances that someone captured him there? And even more so, the chances that you'd be able to retrieve said footage. Well, this is where this case becomes wild. Juan remembered he was on TV, but not the Dodgers cam. It just so happened that Larry David, the creator of Seinfeld and star of the HBO show Curb Your Enthusiasm, was shooting an episode in the exact same aisle as Catalan and his daughter.
The episode was that I picked up a hooker in the carpool lane and took her to Dodger Stadium.
What are the chances? Juan's lawyer contacted HBO, got access to the footage of that episode, and ran the tapes. Hours of research brought no results, and he was running out of tape and felt like he wasn't going to get what he needed. And then, there it was, the once-in-a-lifetime chance of an alibi caught on tape.
And I pointed at the screen, and I said, that's him, roll that back.
This footage, combined with a phone call made to his girlfriend at the exact time he was leaving the stadium, led to his case being thrown out.
But you should not let your children like see you like in that I'm saying that this is a sad, a proud moment, like him getting to see his daughter again, like after like being wrongfully convicted. But like you shouldn't let your kids like see you like in any like court case or like prison. Like it's very traumatizing.
Both detectives were found guilty of coercion and falsifying their reports. As for Juan, what can you say?
Probably still had their jobs. Like that's it. Like all they got was a suspension. Like they back to doing work.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
From getting the tickets on the day of to being caught on camera. But what are the chances that out of 58,000 seats, they're filming on my aisle? I look at it like I did win the lottery because I got a new opportunity at life, with my family. I was so happy and grateful for that.
As you said, like seriously. Well, I never trust the police because they need a pennant on somebody. Like when they run out of luck, they need a pennant on somebody because like that's how you know that they're gonna close the case. And it's not ethical, but they have the upper power. Alright, so this was 5 reactions of innocent convicts set free. And don't forget to and let me know in the comment section what you guys thought. And also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You post these shit to all media platforms. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell for future videos. And it's your boy PJ.
Bitches, we keep on coming while we running for your juice. Steady gunning, keep on busting.